recording now. Hello there and welcome. Gritty Urban here, and I have just completed a game. I don't know if I even should call it a game. I'm going to call it a interactive piece of gosh, man, just an interactive piece. I'm not even calling it an of, just interactive piece. What Remains of Edith Finch? This is a game that is made by the same developer. They're called Giant Sparrow. They made a game previously called The Unfinished Swan. This game is admittedly more ambitious, more just you can tell it took way more time and way more input just from several different people, the texture work, everything. I'm going to break this down into 4 categories. I'm going to break it down into gameplay. I'm going to break it down into presentation. I'm going to break it down into sound design. I'm going to break it down into overall experience. Okay, so gameplay. All right, gameplay wise, this game is it's mostly linear. It kind of walks you through it, which is going to be the sticking point for most people who want to debunk this as a literal game of the year contender. To me, this game is it could be talked about in that situation, in the game of the year situation. As you can see, this is some gameplay of me playing through it. I did recently, a few, maybe like an hour and a half ago, I beat the game. It is linear. It's not going to hold your hand. You have to look around. You have to find the cues. You have to make your way through it. But most people are going to have a pretty similar experience with this game, which is not to fault the game. What I think a lot of people do when it comes to games is if a game is not open world, they are feeling like they got ripped off. This game is only in 1999. 1999 game. $19.99 US. You can have this game, point blank. Period. This is one of the game of the year candidates that you can own for 20 bucks. When's the last time you could say something like that? Maybe like Inside last year, and Inside actually was nominated for a game of the year award last year. So you know that's neither here nor there. I think a lot of what people do is they're looking for a super varied gameplay experience where you can run around in a gigantic world and do nothing. Literally like 40% of your gameplay, 30% of your gameplay. And anytime you put a percentage on something, you're probably going to be wrong. I'm just going to say a good portion of the gameplay from the games that people feel like they're getting their money out of is just driving, it's just running, it's just walking, it's just talking. Like there's not really gameplay involved. It's just you going from one place to another to actually engage another quest that you can actually deal with and engage another piece of gameplay that actually matters to push a storyline forward. So, what I posit for this game, and I'm not trying to make excuses for it, I do understand it's a very linear experience. But what I do posit is that the portions of this where you're actually controlling your character are pushing forward the story and giving you something to look at that is compelling and does give you a further experience, better than just an wide open world with something to do 1.2 miles from here where you're just running. So the linear argument I'm sure is going to come up, but I would just in response to that, what you're doing during these in between portions is packed with pieces. As you can see, the amount of detail they put into here is epic, and this is where I want to start going into. And the gameplay itself, it's varied. You have to click on things. You have to change your footing in the world. You have to change your the way that you move things. As you can see, I had to push this forward. Next time I'm going to have to lift something up. Next time I'm going to have to twist something. Next time I'm going to have to, you have to really pay attention to what you're interacting with, because you can't just click the button and just move through it. There are different ways that you have to play the game. So gameplay wise, I do think it's varied enough, and I do think that it's intriguing enough that it will keep you going and keep you trying to figure out how to do it. You can't just hold forward and beat this game. So I think the gameplay sucks you in, and it also is part of the situation. As you get further in the game, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to spoil the game for you. When it comes to presentation, the graphics are off the charts, man. I was playing it on Ultra when I started playing it. I dropped it down um, to just high because I needed to stream it at the same time. But even on high graphics, this is another thing. Even on just high, not ultra, not the max settings, the graphics were impressive. The frame rate was off the charts, and the way that they presented things, just so much detail, so many different pieces of the world that you could see. This is a living house. This used to be a house that people lived in. It's not just, oh well, they're telling me this is the house that people used to be in. Like, you can see the diplomas on the wall, you can see the photo albums, you can see the pictures on the walls, you can see this is a room that was shared by twin brothers, so it's split down the middle, red and blue. One side has a very western cowboy type look, military look, and the other side has a astronaut look, um, with like Star Command and a just the outlook where you can go up there and find uh, what is it? It's like a helmet that you open up, and there's something inside, and you're reading these stories about what these people went through, and it kills it. It really, really kills it. The gameplay and the presentation seem to line up to keep you intrigued and keep the story moving forward to where you want to know more and more and more about this family, about what they've been through, about what they're doing. So that's gameplay. That's gameplay. That is presentation. The graphics are off the charts, of course. They have done a great job of making a game that is graphically impressive, but doesn't keep you just staring at the environment all day. I don't know how they walked that fine line between, yo, look at the ground, look at the grass. Like, they just made it all consistent. Okay, consistent is a very good word to describe this. From the start of the game all the way to the end, it's consistent. The graphics blend in with the story, and they make you want to explore more, to see what the next graphical experience is going to be. And that's pretty much all I want to say about the graphics of this. Just the graphics are so consistent. They're not the best thing on the market, but they are consistent, and they push forward the story, and they keep you intrigued about what you're going to see next, because it is visually impressive, guys, from start to finish. Uh, the first chapter, the first person that you check into and see their story, you're intrigued. Next person you check into, you're intrigued. The graphics continue to push forward an idea of that this is an epic quest, that you are not just walking through a house, that you are on a quest of visual and um, also story discovery. So you're discovering both of those at the same time. And then the overall experience, the fourth and final piece of this entire game that I want to talk about is just the experience. And that is what I think is going to stick with people the longest, is that this game is an experience. It is a from the start to the finish. I do not recommend you stopping playing this game and then starting playing it again. If you're going to start playing this game, I recommend you just start it at, a time early. I don't know, when you think you got maybe 4 hours, 4 hours that you're going to be not interrupted at all. You're just going to have 4 hours out of your day, starting it and getting all the way through it, because it is a tour de force. It is a non-stop storyline of what has happened to this family, what has happened to everybody in this family, and the stories are so fantastical. It's unbelievable. Some of these are just all these are unbelievable, but by the end of the game, you're going to be wondering what's true and what's not, and that's so cool. So cool about it. So I'm going to say that um, the experience is probably the most important part of this. The experience that you come away with. And me personally, like, I've played a lot of great games, and where they fall short on the experience, but they excel in gameplay, or they excel in the graphics, they excel in the presentation. Like, they excel in these things. What I want to say about this game more than any other game that I've played this year so far is that there's a definite experience you come away with, and that experience is something that I think is going to push this into the game of the year category, and really leave people with that feeling that they have been part of something, that you're gonna feel lucky. You're gonna feel lucky that you got to play it. So if I have to split it up to 25% apiece, gameplay wise, that's probably where I'm going to give it maybe like a 10%. Presentation wise, 25% period. The presentation is off the charts. The the graphics, I have nothing wrong with these graphics. If they could be probably a little better, but I think they focused a little bit more on the storytelling and the voice acting and all that stuff. So I'm gonna give it like a 20, and then I'm going to give it a 25 for the experience, because I think the experience is the point blank period best part of this game. So we're down by like 15%. I'm gonna give it an 85. 85 overall. 85 out of 100. One of the best games that I've played this year, and possibly a game of the year. I definitely recommend it. Um, I might even bump it up to like a 90, just so that it can be in that category, because I think 85 sounds like a B plus, and I don't want this to be a B plus. I think for the money, I think the price multiplier definitely puts this at an A. I wouldn't say A plus, but I'll definitely put this at an A. So I'm going to say 90, because I'm going to give it a price multiplier for $19.99. You should definitely take a look at this game. All right, guys, it's not price exclusion. You don't have to be excluded from this for that 20 bucks. It's got a greatest hits price, and it's just out right now. So check it out if you can. If you got 20 bucks and you got a place to spend it, you could be very, very, very well served by checking this out. And man, it just did the dang thing. So that is my review of What Remains of Edith Finch. Much love to the developer of this, Giant Sparrow. May they keep making games that do not care about sequels and shooters and all the rest of the stuff that is plaguing. I wouldn't say plaguing, but the rest of the stuff that is bombarding the market right now, and just keep the hope alive for just making experiences that you believe in, because they knocked it out of the park with this one. So that is my review of What Remains of Edith Finch. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Leave a thumbs up on this video. I'm giving this a 90 out of 100. Simply a incredible score, and simply an incredible game. And I will see you guys next time. Gritty Urban, out.